What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading Ohio for Incarceration 2019, and today we are here with Broken Hands. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Very welcome, man. Nice to meet you, dude.
Yeah, of course. Bands from the UK, they're always a favorite on my channel, so it's always great to speak to you guys.
We've got a good connection, right? New York, in fact, the whole of the United States and the UK, we're Anglo-Atlantic people, so let's get it done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your newest album, Split in Two, is scheduled to come out August 9th. You just
Yep.
want to give a rundown on how the making of the record was and everything so far with it?
So I guess it starts from, we came out to New York, funny enough. We did a CMJ, which is like sort of, I guess, the New York South by Southwest. And Atlantic Records in New York sort of heard about us whilst we were there, came down to the show. They flew out to the UK to see our headline shows, signed us. And that was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I've been making the record with the whole team there. Pete Gambarg, who's the president at Atlantic. And we made it in the UK. We made the actual record in Rockfield, which is where Queen, Oasis, Bohemian Rhapsody's recorded in that studio. And that's like every big, Black Sabbath. You're talking about like the first two Black Sabbath records were recorded there. So for us as huge Sabbath fans, it's like the holy grail of making a record. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Is this record conceptually intended to be like a direct follow-up to Turbulence, or do you think that this is a new record completely?
It's a new record in the respect that record definitely represented a whole chapter of what we have done musically. And what would you say though? This is more conversation. It's not a concept.
Yeah, not so much a concept, this one. No.
Yeah. It's just talking about having 1 foot on the road and 1 foot at home. Do you know what I mean? And the parallels of how that's difficult for every band that's here at this festival. You know, it's a challenge. So.
Yeah, we're all split in two in some way, whether it's in music or in life.
Yeah. That's basically where we're at right now.
When it comes to the songwriting process, do you try to have a sound that's rather consistent, or do you like to experiment a little bit with your sound?
Well, we've definitely have some of our favourite bands. Don't get me wrong, we go in drop D, drop C. Do you know what I mean? But we also are big fans of ambient acts like My Morning Jacket. So we kind of try to scratch both itches. But with this record, we kind of left it in drop C. The first couple of tracks like Friend's House and Split in Two. You know.
Yeah.
You know, keeping it low, bro.
Keep it low.
Yeah.
You're tuned in standard. That's so not metal.
Yeah. Well, apart from the drop, although what are we at, Jay? E flat, Tony Iommi's E flat, bro. So we'll take that. That's
we'll
as metal as I
we'll
can, you know.
Cattle Decapitation is in standards.
Well, there you go, man. It's how you play it, bro. It's how you play it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, one thing when it comes to the songwriting process, do you guys like to start off with a preconceived idea and work off of that, or is there a lot of improvising involved and you let things happen organically?
Dave?
Well, that's the best way to put it. You might be the best one to put it.
Yeah, the first record we had a whole concept, and it was basically individual band members' take on it, and then co-writing with each other from that. But this record was more we actually have something musically and dynamically we want to do. So Split in Two, the actual track, and Friend's House have a very on and off dynamic, as in quiet then hit real hard. Do you know what I mean? Real heavy drops. So I think that was kind of at first the thing that determined the sound of the record, and then we filled in the conversation afterwards. But this has probably been our most collaborative work yet. Equally, people have taken on roles they didn't take on in the last record. Other people are writing lyric sheets. Dave did a load of lyric writing on this record, so
That's right,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave, 2019. That's going to be the headline of the article. Yeah. You're going to play for the
Yeah, I wrote all the years on the album.
Yeah.
James Hetfield calls. He wants his line.
Yeah.
Great. I'll take it.
We are big. He is a big hit fan as well, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know.
Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Now, coming from the UK, and I've interviewed so many artists I heard conflicting stories about it. I heard that there's a phenomenal, thriving music scene in the UK. I heard that sometimes it's duds here and there. For you guys, did you guys sort of get your name out there starting in the UK, or was it about touring and kind of going outside your home?
Where we're from, there aren't really music venues, which is crazy. But you have to obviously take into context that the UK is very small and very dense. So what we say is a long way away from us, which we're learning is nothing compared to the United States. Everything's big distances.
A whole new world.
But we had to go into the city, and then to be honest with you, we kind of had to come to the United States to be kind of acknowledge what was going on. That a couple of years ago, doing a few festivals out here, or industry festivals, let's say, showcases. But generally speaking, like the UK music scene is insanely dense. So like you are so aware of the person next to you and what they're up to, and I think that only creates competitiveness and probably better music. As much as I don't want to agree with it, and it's just as much as we're not really competitive people, but like I mean, it can be a good thing. You know, like if you're hearing someone who's really hitting it hard and really doing the real deal, you're like, okay, let's see what you're doing. Let's take it somewhere else to see what we got. You know, basically it.
Now, one other question I really have is when you're playing a festival like Incarceration Festival versus like playing a regular concert at a regular venue, is it a completely different experience playing this material live versus like if you're playing in a more condensed space?
So, like we kind of got used to playing outside. Kind of, we haven't got the hiding the lights, hiding on the lights, anything like that, and just getting used to seeing the whites of people's eyes and.
That's the big difference, you know, just light, man. You know, especially because, you know, we're fledgling acts, so we're playing in daylight. And at a heavy rock festival, that's different, you know, it's a different thing. Yeah. But we have spent the last 3 weeks out in the daylight in pavilions and amphitheatres, so we kind of got used to it. But, I mean, it's another whole ball game. I mean, there's a whole prison right there. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to a festival, there's a prison in the grounds. Someone just told me that the evacuation protocol today is that if the weather goes bad, they have to go inside. Now, that's something I've never heard of in my life. So someone's got to go into the prison to.
I'll interview the prisoners. Like,
yeah,
what are
exactly.
you here?
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah, bring some metal to. That would be pretty metal.
It'd be cool, right? That's like the most metal thing I've ever heard. Probably. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I heard some local bands have gotten their breakthrough by playing prisons. So.
Yeah. True story, man. Yeah, exactly. And like, it's been refreshing as well to see the dynamic of an American festival like this. Like, it is different. You know what I mean? But like. Not so much in the respect that the musical aspect, because there's a lot of acts here. We're talking to people who have played like Bloodstock, Hellfest, Bracken, you know. But like out here, there's acts that we actually aren't aware of in the UK, and it's kind of interesting to hear these acts that are like massive household names that are now fresh news to us. It's like getting into metal or heavy rock again, all over again. Like.
And the final question I wanted to ask you is kind of going back to the live presence. Do you try to execute your material exactly how people are hearing it on the album, or do you like to maybe intentionally make the live presence a little bit different than what people would hear?
Yeah, we do try and change it up a bit, try and stay true to the record, but we do try and change it up and give some room, especially outside and playing festivals like this. It's good to play
roll
how
with the
we want to hear
punches.
it. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah. We kind of tried to write the record so it would work on these stages. But I mean, at the end of the day, modern production's one thing, but I think we'll always sound slightly different live.
Yeah.
We're never going to sound exactly like the record.
No.
And people say like, oh, you sound so good, it's just like the record. But it's like, well, you know, we're not even trying to do that. No. You know, we kind of want to keep it.
Stay true in essence, but we do our live thing.
Exactly that, you know. Just turn up a bit more.
So before we go, I'd like to thank you guys so much for coming on the show today.
Definitely, man.
Is there just anything else you would like to promote with Broken Hands in terms of tours? The new record's coming out August 9th, so I'd imagine we'll be seeing a lot of you guys.
Yeah, man, we'll be back in September. We'll be coming back to the United States. That's all we want people to know. Yeah. Exactly that.
Well, you guys are always welcome here. Thank you so
man.
much.
Definitely nice to meet you, dude.
Everybody, we are here with Broken Hands, August 9th. Be sure to pick up Split in Two out on Atlantic Records. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.